Welcome to our fascinating journey through the lives of men with the most unique bodies. Each of these individuals has a story that is as extraordinary as their physical traits. We are about to embark on an exploration into the very heart of human diversity, where a myriad of forms and conditions present themselves, not as deviations, but as remarkable testaments to the adaptability and sheer variety inherent in our species. These are not mere curiosities. They are profound narratives of life, of challenge, and of an unyielding spirit. Here, in this intricate tapestry of human existence, we find individuals whose physical manifestations set them apart, sometimes from birth, sometimes through the unfolding chapters of their lives. We shall observe how these unique characteristics have shaped their interactions with the world, the hurdles they have faced, and the often astonishing ways they have navigated their paths. It is a journey that invites us to look beyond the surface, to understand the deep personal stories that lie beneath these visible differences, fostering a greater appreciation for the spectrum of human experience. My name is SJDT, and it is my privilege to guide you through these narratives. We will witness resilience in its purest form, courage born from necessity, and the incredible capacity of human beings to not only adapt, but to also find strength and purpose in their distinctiveness. Prepare to be moved, to be enlightened, and perhaps to see the concept of normal through an entirely new lens, as we celebrate these truly unbelievable stories of human life. Our journey commences with Bashir Aziz, a man whose skin tells a story of transformation, a visual narrative painted by the condition known as vitiligo. This is not a tale of disease in the conventional sense, but rather of a dermatological phenomenon where the skin loses its pigment cells, the melanocytes, resulting in depigmented patches that can appear anywhere on the body. For Bashir, these patches began to emerge, creating a striking contrast, a living mosaic that would come to define much of his early experience in a world often unaccustomed to such visible difference, a world quick to label. In his youth, the innocent patterns on his skin were met not with curiosity or understanding, but with the unthinking barbs of childhood and societal ignorance. He was likened to animals, his skin compared to the striped coat of a zebra or the mottled hide of a cow. Such comparisons, though perhaps uttered without deep malice by some, can leave indelible marks on a young psyche. They serve to isolate him, to make him feel as though he were an anomaly, something other than human, an exhibit rather than an individual deserving of simple acceptance and belonging. The instinct for self-preservation in the face of such social scrutiny is a powerful one. Bashir, understandably, chose to conceal his skin. He sought refuge in layers of clothing, a shield against the stares, the whispers, and the outright comments that chipped away at his self-esteem. This act of hiding, while a coping mechanism, also meant hiding a part of himself, living under a veil of sorts, which can be an exhausting and isolating existence. The energy expended in concealing is energy diverted from simply being, from experiencing the world openly and without fear of judgment. However, the human spirit possesses an extraordinary capacity for resilience and eventually for reclamation. There often comes a point in such journeys where the burden of hiding becomes heavier than the fear of exposure. For Bashir, this turning point was a gradual dawning, a slow emergence from the shadows of self-doubt into the light of self-acceptance. It is a profound internal shift where one begins to see their uniqueness not as a flaw to be hidden, but as an integral part of their identity, a characteristic that makes them who they are. Today, Bashir Aziz stands not as a man defined by the taunts of the past, but as an individual who has embraced his unique appearance. He has transformed what was once a source of pain into a symbol of his journey, and for many, an inspiration. His story is a testament to the strength required to shed the weight of societal expectations and to step forward with confidence. His skin, no longer a reason to hide, but a declaration of his identity, a beautiful and distinct part of the rich human panorama. We now turn our gaze to Souffrant Ralph, an individual whose distinction lies in a feature many possess, yet in him, it manifests with such abundance and prominence that it has become his signature, his freckles. These small, concentrated spots of melanin are often associated with sun exposure. But for Souffrant, they are a pervasive and defining characteristic, a constellation spread across his skin, lending him an appearance that is both striking and undeniably unique. In a world that often chases uniformity, his appearance stands out, a natural artistry. Unlike some conditions that bring immediate social challenge, freckles are generally seen as benign, even charming. However, when they are as numerous and widespread as they are on Souffrant Ralph, they can still mark an individual as different. In his case, this difference did not lead to the painful ostracization experienced by some, but instead it became a key element of his identity, one that would eventually propel him into the public eye. His journey is one of embracing a natural trait and allowing it to become a source of recognition and even admiration. The fashion and modeling industries, always on the lookout for faces that break the mold, that tell a story, found in Souffrant Ralph a captivating presence. His freckles, far from being a characteristic to be concealed with makeup, became his trademark, celebrated for their distinctiveness. This provides a fascinating insight into how perceptions of beauty and uniqueness can shift, particularly within creative fields that value individuality. He became a canvas upon which his natural markings were the main attraction. His rise to popularity speaks volumes about the evolving understanding of beauty. It highlights a move away from narrow, conventional standards towards a broader appreciation for diverse appearances. Souffrant Ralph's story demonstrates that what makes us different can also be what makes us memorable and indeed sought after. His freckles are not just pigmentation, they are a part of his narrative, a visual language that speaks of individuality and the beauty of natural variation within the human form. Therefore, Souffrant Ralph's journey is a quieter yet no less significant tale of uniqueness. It is a reminder that not all physical distinctions lead to hardship. Some can become pathways to unexpected opportunities and platforms for celebrating the diverse ways in which human beings present themselves to the world. He embodies a form of effortless distinction, where nature's own hand has created a memorable and celebrated human being, a living testament to variety. Our attention now shifts to Jeff Dabe, a man whose physical prowess is immediately evident in one extraordinary feature: his hands. These are not merely large hands, they are colossal, possessing a circumference and sheer mass that seem almost mythical. Born with these remarkable appendages, Jeff's life has been intertwined with their unusual size, influencing his interactions, his capabilities, and ultimately, his path into the unique world of competitive arm wrestling, where such attributes can be a distinct advantage. From a young age, Jeff's hands set him apart. Everyday objects would appear diminutive in his grasp, and tasks requiring delicate manipulation might have posed unique challenges. However, it is often the case that the human body, and the individual inhabiting it, adapts. What might seem like an impediment in one context can become a formidable asset in another. For Jeff, the sheer size and inherent strength of his hands found a natural outlet in physical competition, particularly in a sport that prizes raw power and grip. The world of professional arm wrestling is a theater of strength, where contests are decided in fleeting moments of intense exertion. Jeff Dabe, with his forearms measuring an astonishing 19 inches in circumference and palms capable of engulfing a basketball, quickly gained a reputation. His hands, often likened to those of a cartoon character like Popeye, became his defining feature, earning him nicknames and a formidable presence at the arm wrestling table. Scientists and doctors have examined him, and remarkably, found no signs of gigantism or elephantiasis. His large limbs are simply his natural state. Beyond the spectacle and the competitive arena, Jeff Dabe's story is also one of an individual living with a very visible and unusual physical trait. It involves navigating a world designed for average proportions, from shaking hands to using everyday tools. Yet, he has embraced his uniqueness, channeling it into a sport where it is not just accepted but celebrated. His participation in arm wrestling championships across the United States has brought him a degree of fame and recognition, turning a natural anomaly into a source of strength and identity. Jeff Dabe's life, therefore, is a compelling example of how an extraordinary physical characteristic can shape a destiny. His enormous hands, a marvel of human biological variation, have not only defined his physical appearance, but have also carved a unique niche for him in the sporting world. He stands as a testament to the fact that our differences, no matter how pronounced, can be sources of incredible power and distinction, allowing individuals to make an unforgettable mark on the world. Chapter 4. We now encounter the story of Sridhar Chalal, an individual from India whose claim to uniqueness was cultivated over decades, a deliberate and astonishing feat of endurance and dedication. He held, for a remarkable period, the Guinness World Record for the longest fingernails ever grown on a single hand. This was not a passive occurrence but a conscious decision made in his youth, a choice that would profoundly impact his life, his body, and his daily existence for over 66 years. The genesis of this extraordinary endeavor, as Sridhar himself recounted, stemmed from a childhood incident involving a teacher. From that moment, he embarked on a lifelong commitment to not cutting the fingernails on his left hand. As the years turned into decades, these nails grew into colossal keratinous coils, reaching a combined length of over 9 meters. Imagine the sheer dedication required, the meticulous care to prevent breakage, and the constant awareness of these ever-lengthening appendages that became a part of his very being. Living with such extraordinarily long fingernails presented a host of practical challenges. Simple tasks like sleeping, dressing, and working became complex maneuvers, requiring immense patience and adaptation. The nails themselves, due to their immense weight and the unnatural posture they forced upon his hand and arm, eventually caused significant physical strain. Reports indicated that he suffered pain, nerve damage, and even deafness in his left ear due to the damage to nerves caused by the weight of the nails pulling on his hand. The decision to finally cut his nails in 2018 at the age of 82 was a momentous one. The event itself was symbolic, marking the end of an era for Sridhar and for the world records he held. The nails, preserved and now displayed in a museum, stand as a peculiar testament to human perseverance, eccentricity, and the lengths to which an individual might go to achieve a unique distinction. They represent a lifetime of singular focus on a truly unconventional goal. Sridhar Chilal's story is a curious chapter in the annals of human endeavor. It is a narrative that pushes the boundaries of what one might consider a unique body, as his was a uniqueness actively cultivated and maintained at considerable personal cost. It speaks to the human desire for recognition, for leaving a mark, however unconventional, and the incredible, sometimes baffling dedication that can arise from a simple, youthful decision. His life is a study in patience and the profound physical consequences of such a long-term commitment. Chapter 5. Our journey now brings us to the truly inspiring story of Isaiah Acosta, a young man who entered this world facing a challenge that would seem, to many, insurmountable for his chosen path. Isaiah was born with a condition known as agnathia, meaning he was born without a jaw, and consequently, without the ability to speak in the conventional sense. He also cannot eat orally, and requires a tracheostomy to breathe. This is a rare and profound congenital anomaly, presenting immense medical and personal hurdles from the very first breath. Despite these formidable obstacles, Isaiah harbored a dream that seemed almost paradoxical. He wanted to become a rapper. Rap, as an art form, is intrinsically linked to lyrical dexterity, vocal delivery, and the power of the spoken word. How, one might wonder, could an individual unable to speak aspire to such a vocation? This is where Isaiah's story transcends the purely physical and enters the realm of sheer determination and the innovative spirit of human connection. Isaiah found his voice not through his own vocal cords but through collaboration and the written word. He meticulously crafts lyrics, pouring his thoughts, his experiences, his frustrations, and his hopes onto paper. These powerful words are then brought to life by other artists, rappers who lend their voices to convey Isaiah's message. This unique partnership allows his spirit and his poetry to reach an audience, proving that a voice can manifest in many forms. His journey has been one of incredible resilience. He has undergone numerous surgeries and faces daily medical routines, yet his spirit remains undimmed. He has become an advocate for those with disabilities, using his platform to raise awareness and to inspire others facing adversity. His story gained wider recognition through his work with the Children's Miracle Network hospitals and his collaborations with established rap artists who were moved by his passion and his powerful lyrical content. Isaiah Acosta, the silent rapper, redefines what it means to have a voice. He demonstrates that the power of expression is not solely reliant on physical ability, but on the strength of the human spirit, the clarity of one's message, and the courage to pursue one's dreams against all odds. His life is a profound testament to the idea that limitations can be transformed into unique strengths, and that true artistry can find a way to emerge from even the most challenging of circumstances. Chapter 6. We now observe Bernd Schmidt, a man from Germany whose unique bodily attribute is one of remarkable and record-breaking oral capacity. Bernd holds the Guinness World Record for the largest mouth gape, measuring an astonishing 8.8 centimeters. This is the vertical distance between his upper and lower incisor teeth when his mouth is opened to its fullest extent. It is a feature that, while perhaps not immediately apparent in casual observation, becomes truly extraordinary when demonstrated. This unusual ability allows Byrne to fit surprisingly large objects into his mouth, a feat that has garnered him attention and a place in the annals of world records. It is a curious example of human anatomical variation, where the elasticity of tissues and the structure of the jaw permit a range of motion far beyond the average. One might wonder about the evolutionary or developmental path that leads to such a characteristic, though in many such cases, it is simply a natural, albeit rare, variation. Interestingly, alongside this remarkable gape, Byrne is noted to have a relatively small tongue. This detail adds another layer to the uniqueness of his oral anatomy. The interplay of different physical features often creates a complex picture, and in Byrne's case, the combination of an exceptionally wide gape with a smaller tongue is a peculiar pairing. It highlights how individual components of our physiology can vary independently, leading to unique overall configurations. Byrne's record-breaking gape is not something that typically impacts daily life in a significant way, unlike some of the other conditions we have explored. Instead, it is a fascinating party piece, a unique talent that sets him apart in a specific, measurable way. He has embraced this unusual trait, participating in record attempts and showcasing his ability, turning a simple anatomical feature into a source of amusement and minor celebrity. It's a lighthearted example of human extremity. The story of Byrne Schmidt reminds us that uniqueness can be found in the most unexpected of places and in the most specific of anatomical details. It underscores the vast spectrum of human physical diversity, where even the capacity of one's mouth can become a point of extraordinary distinction. His record is a testament to the ongoing documentation of human capabilities and the endless variations that exist within our species, often hidden until a tape measure reveals something truly out of the ordinary. Chapter 7. Abul Bajandar, the Enigma of the Tree Man. Our journey now takes us to a profoundly challenging and rare condition, as embodied by Abul Bajandar of Bangladesh. He became known to the world as the Tree Man, due to an extremely rare genetic skin disorder called epidermodysplasia verruciformis, compounded by extensive human papillomavirus infections. This devastating combination causes large wood-like warts to erupt, particularly on his hands and feet, giving them the appearance of gnarled tree branches. Abul's life was dramatically altered by the relentless growth of these lesions, which began to appear in his teenage years. The warts grew so extensively that they rendered his hands and feet virtually unusable, encasing them in heavy, bark-like structures. This condition not only caused him immense physical discomfort and pain, but also robbed him of his ability to work, to care for himself, and to interact normally with his family and community. The sheer visual impact of his condition also led to social isolation and stigma. The medical world was both fascinated and deeply concerned by Abul's plight. His case highlighted the extreme manifestations of epidermodysplasia verruciformis, a condition that predisposes individuals to widespread HPV infections and the subsequent uncontrolled growth of cutaneous warts. He underwent a series of complex and painstaking surgical procedures to remove the kilograms of growths that burdened his limbs, offering him a glimpse of hope for a more normal life, the chance to hold his daughter, to feed himself. However, the nature of his condition is such that it is incredibly persistent. Despite numerous operations, the warts have shown a tendency to regrow, presenting an ongoing battle for Abul and his medical team. His story is a stark illustration of the relentless challenges posed by some genetic disorders and the limitations of current medical interventions in providing permanent cures for such deeply rooted conditions. It is a life lived in the shadow of constant medical vigilance and the threat of recurrence. Abul Bajandar's struggle is a poignant reminder of the extreme vulnerabilities of the human body and the profound impact that rare diseases can have on an individual's existence. His courage in facing repeated surgeries and the unwavering hope for a better quality of life are truly remarkable. He represents a frontier of medical challenge, where the fight is not just against the disease, but for the restoration of basic human function and dignity in the face of an overwhelming and visibly transformative affliction. Chapter 8. Gary Turner, the Elastic Marvel. We now encounter Gary Turner, a man from the United Kingdom whose skin possesses an extraordinary quality. It is incredibly stretchy. Gary holds the Guinness World Record for the stretchiest skin, a result of a rare genetic condition known as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, specifically the classical type. This connective tissue disorder affects collagen, a protein responsible for skin strength and elasticity, leading to hyperelasticity of the skin and hypermobility of the joints. For Gary, this means he can pull the skin on his stomach, neck and arms to astonishing lengths, far beyond what is typical. The skin, while exceptionally pliable, is also fragile and prone to easy bruising and scarring. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a spectrum disorder, and its manifestations can vary widely, but in Gary's case, the hyperelasticity of his skin is the most visually striking feature. He has likened its texture and elasticity to that of a much older person's, despite being relatively young. This unusual characteristic was noticeable from a young age. As a child, other children would marvel at his ability to stretch his skin. While it might seem like a painless and even amusing trait, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can come with a range of other medical complications, including joint pain, dislocations and chronic fatigue. Gary's ability to stretch his skin is merely the most visible symptom of an underlying systemic condition that affects his body's connective tissues more broadly. Gary Turner has embraced his unique skin, turning it into a form of performance art and a way to raise awareness about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. He has appeared in sideshows and television programs, famously stretching his neck skin over his lower jaw or creating a human table by stretching the skin of his stomach. This act of showcasing his condition is not just for entertainment. It is also a way of taking ownership of his difference and educating the public about a little understood disorder. The story of Gary Turner, the stretchy skin man, is a fascinating look at how a genetic mutation can manifest in such a visually dramatic way. It highlights the intricate biology of our connective tissues and the profound effects when these tissues do not form typically. His willingness to share his condition with the world offers a unique window into the lives of those living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, transforming a rare medical condition into a platform for awareness and a truly unforgettable spectacle. Chapter 9. Larry Gomez, the Wolfman's Legacy. Our exploration now leads us to Larry Gomez, also known by the moniker Wolf Boy or Wolfman, an individual whose body is almost entirely covered in thick, dark hair. This striking characteristic is due to a very rare genetic condition called congenital generalized hypertrichosis, sometimes referred to as werewolf syndrome. For Larry, this means that approximately 98% of his body, including his face, is enveloped in hair, a trait that has been present since birth and has profoundly shaped his life and identity. Congenital hypertrichosis is an exceedingly rare condition, with only a small number of documented cases throughout history. It is often hereditary, and indeed, several members of Larry Gomez's family also share this trait, tracing back through generations. This familial aspect adds another layer to his story, as it speaks to a genetic legacy passed down, marking the family as unique within their community and the wider world. This is not a choice, but an inherited characteristic that defines their appearance. Growing up with such a visible and unusual condition undoubtedly presented significant social challenges. In a world where conformity is often prized, standing out so dramatically can lead to unwanted attention, misunderstanding, and prejudice. Larry has spoken about the difficulties he faced, including bullying and the struggle for acceptance. However, he has also demonstrated remarkable resilience, refusing to let his condition define his limitations or dictate his happiness. Like others with highly visible, unique traits, Larry Gomez has found ways to navigate the world, sometimes even leveraging his appearance. He has been involved in circus performances and media appearances, which, while potentially exploitative in some contexts, can also be a means of earning a livelihood and asserting control over his own narrative. He has chosen to embrace his uniqueness, presenting himself to the world with a degree of confidence and openness. Larry Gomez's life story is a powerful testament to the human capacity to adapt to extraordinary circumstances. His condition, while visually startling to many, is simply a part of who he is. He challenges us to look beyond the surface, beyond the hair, to see the individual beneath. His journey, and that of his family, offers a profound insight into living with a rare genetic trait that makes them one of the most visibly unique families on the planet, a living example of human genetic diversity. We now turn our attention to Sean Ross, an individual who has made significant waves in the fashion industry, not despite his uniqueness, but because of it. Sean is an African-American man who was born with albinism, a congenital condition characterized by a significant lack of melanin pigment in the skin, hair, and eyes. This results in a striking appearance, very fair skin, often platinum blonde or white hair, and light-colored eyes, which can be particularly visually arresting against his African heritage. Growing up with albinism, especially as a person of color, presented a complex set of challenges for Sean. He faced bullying and misunderstanding from peers who did not comprehend his condition, often feeling like an outsider in his own community and beyond. The social narrative around albinism can be fraught with misconceptions and, in some cultures, even superstition or prejudice. His journey through childhood and adolescence was marked by the need to navigate these societal reactions to his distinct appearance. However, Sean Ross did not allow these adversities to define him or limit his aspirations. Instead, he channeled his experiences into a powerful drive for self-acceptance and ultimately, into a career that celebrates unique beauty. He broke into the high-fashion modeling world, a realm often criticized for its narrow beauty standards. His presence on runways and in fashion campaigns has been revolutionary, challenging conventional notions of what a model should look like and opening doors for others with diverse appearances. Sean has become a vocal advocate for diversity and inclusion, not just in fashion, but in society at large. He uses his platform to speak out against bullying and to promote the message "In my skin, I win," encouraging others to embrace their differences and find strength in their individuality. He has transcended being simply a model to become a cultural icon and an inspiration for many who feel marginalized due to their appearance. The story of Sean Ross is a powerful narrative of transformation, from a bullied child to a celebrated international model and activist. He demonstrates how a condition that once set him apart in challenging ways can become a source of profound strength and a catalyst for positive change. His distinctive albinism, combined with his African heritage, creates a unique and unforgettable aesthetic that has forced the world to reconsider its definitions of beauty, making him a true pioneer. Our focus now shifts to Rory Maguire, a man whose unique physical characteristic is a prominent venous malformation, a type of birthmark, affecting his upper lip and right cheek. Venous malformations are congenital anomalies of blood vessels, where veins develop abnormally, often appearing as bluish, soft, compressible swellings. For Rory, this was not a minor blemish, but a significant facial feature that has been a central part of his life's journey since birth. Living with a highly visible facial difference from such a young age presents a unique set of challenges. The face is central to our identity and how we interact with the world. Rory's venous malformation would have inevitably drawn attention, stares, and perhaps unwelcome questions or comments. Navigating social interactions, forming relationships, and building self-esteem can be particularly demanding when one carries such a visible mark of difference from early childhood. To manage the size and potential complications of the venous malformation, Rory has undergone an arduous series of medical interventions. He has reportedly endured around 20 operations aimed at reducing the size of the birthmark and improving its appearance. Each surgery represents not just a physical ordeal but also a period of recovery, uncertainty, and hope. This long medical journey underscores the significant impact the condition has had on his life and his family's. Despite the numerous surgeries and the inherent challenges of living with a significant facial difference, Rory Maguire has demonstrated incredible resilience. The path of repeated medical procedures is one of courage and perseverance. It speaks to a deep desire to manage the condition and to live life as fully as possible. His story is one of adapting to a body that requires ongoing medical care and the emotional strength needed to face each new procedure. Rory Maguire's experience sheds light on the lives of individuals with prominent birthmarks and vascular anomalies. It's a narrative that often unfolds away from the public eye, filled with quiet battles and personal triumphs. His journey through numerous operations is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and adapt, and the ongoing quest for medical solutions that can alleviate the burdens of such conditions, allowing individuals to navigate the world with greater comfort and confidence. Our final subject in this exploration of unique bodies is Zhang Hongming, a man from Chongqing, China, whose distinction is a large, dense patch of thick, dark fur, covering a significant portion of his shoulder, back, and arm. This unusual characteristic is attributed to a giant congenital melanocytic nevus, essentially a very large mole that was present at birth, from which an extraordinary amount of hair grows, giving it a distinctly animalistic appearance. This hairy patch has been a part of Zhang Hongming's life since his earliest days. Such large congenital nevi are rare, and when they are also hypertrichotic, excessively hairy, they become even more visually striking. Growing up, this would have undoubtedly set him apart from his peers, potentially leading to nicknames like chimpanzee or ape man, as has been reported. The social implications of such a visible and unusual trait can be profound, particularly during formative years. The presence of a giant congenital melanocytic nevus also carries potential medical concerns, primarily an increased risk of developing melanoma, a serious form of skin cancer, within the nevus. This means that individuals like Zhang Hongming often require regular medical monitoring. Beyond the cosmetic and social aspects, there is an underlying health consideration that adds another layer of complexity to living with such a condition. Zhang has spoken of the discomfort and shame he felt, particularly in his youth, due to his appearance. He often wore long-sleeved shirts to cover the hairy patch, even in hot weather, to avoid stares and comments. This desire to conceal a part of oneself is a common response to feeling different and being subjected to unwanted attention. The burden of this concealment can be significant, affecting one's freedom and self-esteem. However, reports also indicate that Zhang Hongming eventually sought medical treatment to have the hairy mole removed, not just for cosmetic reasons but also potentially to alleviate the risk of cancer and the social discomfort it caused. His story is one of an individual grappling with a rare and highly visible birthmark, navigating the social and medical challenges it presents, and ultimately seeking a path towards greater comfort and acceptance, whether through medical intervention or personal growth. It highlights the deep impact such congenital marks can have on a person's entire life. These men have shown incredible resilience and strength, turning their unique physical traits into powerful stories of human diversity. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey. We have witnessed a spectrum of human experience, from conditions present at birth to those acquired or cultivated, each narrative underscoring the profound adaptability and fortitude inherent in the human spirit. Their lives challenge us to broaden our understanding of what it means to be human and to appreciate the vast array of forms our species can take. The individuals we have met today have navigated worlds that were not always designed for them, or understanding of them. They have faced curiosity, prejudice, medical challenges, and the deeply personal journey of self-acceptance. Yet, in each story, there is a thread of triumph. The triumph of embracing uniqueness, of finding a voice, of excelling in unexpected arenas, or simply of living a life with dignity and courage against the odds. Their stories are not just about their bodies. They are about their indomitable spirits. As we conclude this exploration, let us carry forward a renewed sense of empathy and a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of human existence. May we look upon difference not with apprehension, but with curiosity and respect, recognizing that it is our collective diversity that makes humanity so wonderfully complex and endlessly fascinating. For in every unique story there is a lesson, a reflection of our shared journey through life.